Well, hello everyone. My name is Dave Dune. I'm with Sourcewell. I'm the Director of Cooperative Contracts. And today with me from EUCAST Global is Jay Kim, who's the CEO and founder, correct?
Yes.
So I'm so happy you made the trip into our studio to spend some time with us today. What I'd like to do is, I think this is an opportunity for us. This whole industry is just buzzing, right?
Right.
All the agencies we serve, this is all they're talking about. And so what I'd like to do is ask you the questions they're asking us. Yeah. And I'm thinking, who better to answer those than you, right? Because we're not the subject matter expert, you are, right? Yeah. So with that in mind, I want to start with maybe a really basic one. So we awarded you a contract in private wireless.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Well, you earned it. It wasn't a gift. You had a terrific response. But tell me, what is a private network and why would someone consider having one?
Right. Actually, a private network market just started and it's become a keyword. And private network is by definition private. Unlike a public network, such as a conventional cellular network or Wi-Fi, private networks are restricted and their access is limited to specific individuals or devices. It provides much better quality, security, and coverage compared to conventional Wi-Fi.
Okay. So I was traveling last week and I heard someone say, oh, private, that's just like a public network on steroids, right? It's just so much more.
Right.
And I said, I think that's accurate. It's a pretty basic definition, but it's that much higher of a level.
Right. Compared to conventional telco operational services, private network, you can have your own cellular. You can design your own cellular without paying anything.
Okay. So that leads me to the next question, which is, there must be a top 2 or 3 reasons why they should consider it or what the benefits are, or, I know later we'll get into like use cases and various verticals we serve, but what seems to be the top thing you're hearing?
Well, the very first one is the cost save. That is very important in business. Today, municipalities pay large telcos for fixed wireless using a data plan. With a private network, we own the network, so there's no usage limit, no monthly data plans, and the full-scale real-time data communication is available, which can optimize the system operation and save labor cost. So basically, you don't have to pay to telecom operators. At the same time, you can optimize your system, which will save another operation cost.
Interesting. Okay. So, Sourcewell members are really interested in that. Anytime they can save money in the long term, that show me more. I want to learn more. Very interesting.
And then secondly, you can resolve a digital divide issue. In the United States, there are a lot of low population density area where there's very poor cellular coverage or very low internet penetration rate. So private network provide last mile internet coverage for rural communities so that they can have services like telehealth and remote learning. So or maybe smart farmings. So any kind of internet services where cellular coverage is very weak.
So, in this area, Staples is out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
And that's been a discussion for years. How can kids do homework? Do they have, interesting.
Right. And lastly, you can have a security and data privacy. The private network provides enhanced security by limiting access to authorized users and reducing the risk of cyber attacks or data breach. So you are a business owner or any corporate who are very sensitive on having your data security, private network is the way to go.
And you mentioned security. I just want to make it. I know when we first started talking about cybersecurity, public sector didn't care. They only thought banks got hacked, right?
Right.
And then they realized what a political nightmare it is if the school's student data was hacked, or their school records, and I think it raised that awareness. This isn't just a corporate issue anymore.
Right.
It's now a public sector issue.
Right.
Interesting. So following up on that discussion, so we hear about 4G and 5G and 6G in the future, and I mean, what does all that mean?
Well, actually, it basically that evolution starts from 1G, 2G, 3G, and 4G, and 5G, and then actually 5G is the next generation 4G LTE. 5G provides much higher data speed, like gigabit per second. Considering 4G, you have 100 megabit per second of data rate. So 5G, you have like 10 times or even more data rate. And also you have a lower latency, like milliseconds of response time, and also allows for greater number of connected IoT devices. You have like hundreds, thousands of IoT devices can be connected. So why 5G is useful? Because 5G is quite useful for smart city and utility companies and smart factories where they need a high definition quality video transmission, which requires much higher data rate, and also massive IoT device communications, and also ultra reliable and low latency communication.
Again, going back, latency was never an issue. Now we just expect, don't we? Just instantaneous.
Something like it's very time-sensitive operations, like steel manufacturing or very maybe some medical surgery environment.
Sure.
In many cases, at the same time, also the massive machine-type communication spec that requires simultaneous connection of more than 100,000 of IoT devices that will have.
And it's going to be one of my questions later, but that's a big deal in public safety too, isn't it? And we're really growing that space, right?
Right.
Okay. So this whole public sector, we've learned over the last 25 years, full of acronyms, right?
Right.
What is CBRS?
Yeah, actually, this is one of the most important thing. Actually, that is really initiator for the private network. CBRS means a Citizens Broadband Radio Service. That is 150 megahertz bandwidth of 3.5 gigahertz frequency band, which is originally allocated for U.S. Navy radar systems and the aircraft communications. So in 2017, the FCC completed to establish rules for commercial use of this band. But on 2020, that was about like 4 years ago, FCC authorized full use of the CBRS band for wireless service provider communications. Under the new rules, using CBRS can deploy 4G and 5G mobile network system without acquiring a spectrum license. That means you can use 4G and 5G systems for free, like almost for free. So in that way, you can deploy those cellular systems in that frequency range without paying to telecom operators. So you have freedom to use a cellular quality network for your own purpose. So applications for CBRS are fixed wireless access, a smart city, a smart utility, smart factory, smart farming, you name it, and also public safety area. It works across everything from school district for remote learning to allowing farmers to monitor their crops from remote locations. There are so many of them.
Good.
So CBRS-based private network will substantially reduce operation cost or boost the safety and security in many areas. CBRS private network bypass the need for fiber to everyone, which saves a substantial amount of cost and time, because the CBRS cellular can give you wireless last mile access. You don't have to connect fibers to all the houses and homes. So, but still, private cellular network can also connect directly to existing fiber infrastructure. So it can like coexist with existing fiber.
Okay. Very interesting.
Right.
So I mentioned public safety before. We have really, really grown that space. And that's fire, that's law enforcement, and EMS. So
Right.
specifically, I know you and I talked about this the last time we were here,
Right.
when we weren't recording it,
Yeah.
about your application specifically and how you can really help that sector.
The network in a box, we call it, or cellular new wheel, is the way to go. And network in a box quickly establishes cellular network within 10 minutes at anywhere. For example, you are in the middle of nowhere, or you are right after hurricanes, or in the mountain fires where there's no cellular coverage available. You just turn on the switch, you can get the cellular coverage within 10 minutes. So in that way, the servers, like your workers or the people who deal with emergency situations, they can communicate among themselves by video call or push to talk.
So literally you can create a network in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere, in a canyon, out
Right.
in the hinterlands out here where there's no service.
Yeah, you were in the middle of the Mojave Desert, any place.
And it's private, so it's only your people.
Right, only your people.
Interesting.
Yeah. So EUCAST is globally leading NIB equipment vendor. We have provided commercial product for more than 10 years. So we have a lot of experience in public safety sector or military sector.
Okay. All right. So here's your chance to brag a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Because one of the things we run into is I don't know the difference between any of these people, right? So tell me what sets you apart from the other offerings out in the marketplace, right? If someone would say, why, we have agencies all the time. Why would I pick you, Jay? Why would I pick you over 7 other providers that I know have said they can do these things?
Right. The first thing is we have a proven commercial quality and stability, because our conventional cellular system is a very picky system, very sensitive system. It tends to have a lot of errors. But our system has been operating for more than 10 years in nationwide deployment and globally. So we have assured the quality and stability.
So you're not in the pilot stage right now.
No, actually, right. So actually, the government, the public safety sector, and military people has been using our system for more than 6 or 7 years, and so far it's very stable.
Okay.
And also, we own all the software and hardware technologies. We do not depend on third-party vendor. So we control all the hardware and software. So what means we can make customizations and then timely support quite available. So we will make 100% made in USA product.
So what you just described to me, you called it network in a box?
Yeah.
That's you.
Right.
You don't have to worry about the supply chain of some third-party vendor delivering that to you.
Right. You don't have to work
Completely vertically integrated.
Right. We have 100% control, so we can even quickly customize for the customers' requirement.
Okay. Right. All right. So one more question in that regard. One of the things that agencies are always asking is, okay, I think I understand what you just described. Can you give me a case study or an example or a use case where they can sort of see it come to life? Like I thought the fire one, you're in a canyon and I can set up a network. I think people really relate to that.
Right.
Do you have some good stories or case studies and maybe some of the different areas and say, this is the technology, but this is what it did for them?
Yeah, actually there's so many of them. Basically this is private network, private cellular network. It's commonly applied to many cases it is cheap. You don't have to pay money to operators. And it provides you also good connectivity, high data rate. And it provides you security and privacy. That is common to all application cases. So let's just say, assuming the healthcare or hospital applications. So normally, the hospital, you may need a very high quality video. Conference is possible because you do some surgery, right? Some conference, and with the surgery, you need very high definition video transmissions needed. So in that case, you can have private network on 5G, which is very high data rate. At the same time, you don't have to pay data plan to operators, because if you use very high data rate and then you subscribe to telecom operators, they charge you based on your data usage.
Sure.
Which your high definition data is very high. So you may be worried about the data usage. But if you have your own private network and the 5G, you have very high data rate, but you don't have to worry about the paying to operators. That is one big advantage. And also, you can also do a real-time patient tracking or asset tracking. Whether patient moving or asset already expensive medical equipment are moving, you can tag them and then you can trace them down inside the building wherever they go. So, and also you can do, actually the robot operation is trialed in South Korean big hospital. It will help a lot. So you have to track down the robot locations, and then also command and control to robot movement that can be done inside the building. So that is one example for healthcare or medical applications. And also public safety, as I mentioned to you, you can apply network in a box solution. So you have a full system. You can still use a CBRS frequency network in a box. So you are out of nowhere, you can quickly have a service. That's one thing. And also another case is, say, like some University of Virginia, there is some gun shooting happens, right? So one way to prevent is that you have a lot of smart lightings. Each lighting has a CCTV, right? CCTV actually analyze the videos, and AI can analyze the video, and then he can detect, okay, this is a dangerous situation, and then he can alarm it. So, but you can have so many CCTVs here and there, but you cannot connect them through wireline. So those wireless private network can easily connect all those CCTV and collect the data. So it makes this infrastructure implementation much easier. So this is smart camera based surveillance system with the private network connectivity will surely boost up your public safety. That can be applied in the universities on any areas. So that might be one good example. So, but maybe we can have a smart farming, right? So you're in the middle of farmland, you have tractors, go there, but no connectivity there, right? And then with a private network deployed in farmland, then you can have internet connectivity everywhere. So you can trace down your tractor locations, but at the same time, you can, all the sensors in overall the farmland can automatically send the data through a private network. So you can collect those sensors or environment data in real time. That also can be applied to not only for farmland and oil and gas, where a very sensitive measurement has to be done, right? Those real-time tracking can be possible also. What else? You have also, as I mentioned to you, rural area and isolated area, or what I can say, low population density area. In this area, the cellular coverage is not good because telecom operators do not provide enough coverage because they're not profitable, right? But still, you want to have a very good internet coverage to a certain area or cellular coverage. In that case, now you don't need to depend on telecom operators. You have your own network and you can enjoy the good coverage and throughput.
So Jay, that makes me think of something, because we ran into this, it's got to be 5 or 6 years ago, but the public wireless people, even in a large urban area, would say, I only want this corridor. That's the profitable piece, this underserved neighborhood. And I know that there were communities saying, if you're going to get the deal, you're also going to have to provide service over here. Right? What they were reluctant to do.
Right.
So I find that fascinating, that the private piece could help with a large part of that.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, knowing all those things that you just told us, so I try to keep things really simple. So the first question is, what is it? I think you helped us with that. How does it work? I think you gave us enough to think about that.
Right.
Why would I be interested? I think those use cases were, wow, I'm one of those you just talked about. So here's the final step. What do I do next, Jay? I want to learn more. I'm a city, a county, a school. I didn't really know this. Now that I've seen this, what's my next step? What does the process look like for a university or a city or a county?
Well, actually, we already get some small account here and there. So you can visit that our reference site, how it works, or you can do some trials. Let's just say install a couple base stations and then apply, and then see how it is. There are many ways to do that. We are currently we provide our solution to Farmington here in Michigan as part of the smart city. And we are currently also dealing with some university network, which provide good coverage as well as boosted up security. Yeah,
so I think in the public sector, that's really a big deal. Pilot to prove,
right?
Rather than, you mean we have to go all in,
right?
And what if it doesn't work? And what if we don't? So I can take those baby steps.
Right. So actually, we have done very successful trials in Colorado Department of Transportation about 2 years ago. So basic functionality was done there. Now we have an account in Michigan and then some other universities. So the very first step is you can visit there and see how it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then next day is, okay, I want to try this.
Sure.
So if it's good, then you can expand it.
It looks like me. It feels like me. I think it's like me.
Right.
Now let's see if it works for me.
Right.
I love that. Okay. Anything else you want to add?
Also, another advantage of our system is because compared to conventional cellular systems, our system is very small form factor, lightweight, and very easy to installation and maintenance. So our partners or customers can operate it without spending much time on trainings.
Sure.
So this is more like user-friendly cellular system. And then I do believe this is the way to go for private network market.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And of course, if they have questions, they can reach out to us directly,
Right.
and we can get them to you, or they can go to your site,
Yeah, sure.
right, that we have on that's your landing page.
Yeah, actually our we just start to get some contract, so there are going to be more and more reference account coming up.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, folks. I hope you found this useful. Every time I talk to you, Jay, I learn something, so I appreciate that.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yep.
And this is good.
Always good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks.